No. Hello everyone. Can you hear me well? Write your answers in the chat box, please. Okay, can you see me well? Okay, good. So, hello everyone. Nice to see all of you here. We have 200 participants already. Okay, so I'm Anna. I'm a publications consultant in Ukraine. And today we are going to talk about reading for ZNO. And today I'm going to share with you some information about reading strategies to use at ZNO exam. And I hope that these strategies will help our students to cope with reading tasks successfully and score maximum points. Okay, but before we start, I'd like to tell you a few words about our company, who we are and what we do in Ukraine. So, MM Publications is an international company and we publish for the whole world. We publish for Latin American countries, China, Turkey, Middle East countries, and for every country where English is a second language. We have become a trusted and respectful name on ELT market, and we produce high-quality, innovative English language material which meets classroom needs and the demands of the changing curricula. We have our headquarters in London and the United States of America, and we have representatives and agents in more than 80 countries around the world. We have created a special program for Ukraine. These books were thoroughly chosen for Ukraine, and they have culture pages designed for Ukraine. And what is special about it is that we also have special discounts and free components. We have courses for pre-primary school and primary school, and courses for teenagers and young adults. And our brand new courses are Pioneer and Young Stars. They are completely new. Okay. And we also have numerous books for exam preparation. Go Starters, Go Movers, Go Flyers. Books for exam preparation for Cambridge Young Learners exam. And we have FC and IELTS for exam preparation, and our bestseller, Use of English. This book is recommended for everybody, for teachers and students who want to consolidate their knowledge of vocabulary and grammar. And we have created a special platform, ELT platform, so please visit our international website, MM Publications, where you can find free resources for teachers and students. What is special about this problem, about this platform, is that our students can do exercises online, and teachers can keep track of the time the students spend on this platform. Use this as an additional tool in your class, and all the exercises They are different, so they were not taken from students' book or workbook. Yes, this platform is free to use, so you should register and use it in your class. Okay, and let's move on to our topic. So today we are talking about reading for an exam, reading for ZNO exam. And I'd like to ask you a question. Why do we read in general? Please answer in your write your answers in the chat box. To broaden our mind, yes. To get information, right. For pleasure. To spend time, yes. Agree. As a kind of entertainment, right, yes. So we read in order to entertain ourselves, in order to get information, in order to be able to broaden our mind, in order to be more open-minded, yes. So yes, to know more words, right. And let's have a quick look at types of reading tasks at ZNO. So the first type is multiple matching. Here our students need to match the titles with the paragraphs. The second task is multiple choice. So here our students need to answer 5 questions, and they have 4 options. So they need to choose the most appropriate option, the most appropriate answer to the question. The third type is multiple matching. So multiple matching, in this type they need to read 5 short texts and answer the question below and match the number of the text with the answer. And gap filling. So our students need to read the text and fill in the gaps with the most appropriate sentence. Good. And now let's have a quick look at 2 important strategies to speed up our reading. I'm pretty sure that most of you have already heard about these 2 strategies, and maybe you have practiced this strategy at your English lessons, but never mind, let's have a quick revision. So please write in your chat box, what is skimming? Please give me a definition of skimming. Write the definition of skimming. What is skimming? Right. So, good. So we use skimming to get the general idea of the text. So it's type of quick reading. Yes, thank you. And what can we skim in our daily life? What can we skim in our daily life? Please write your answers in the chat box below. News, right? Newspapers, ads. Announcements, good. Social networking sites, yes. Weather forecast, agree. Schedule, okay, articles, websites, okay, thank you. So we can use skimming to find some use in the in a newspaper or on a website. We also may use skimming to look through a book in order to make a decision whether we want to read it or not. And also we use skimming to look through television guide to see what's on the TV now, and to search for websites on Google. Yes. And I'm going to share with you some skimming tips. So first of all, we need to look through the words and the text itself. It shouldn't take more than 1 minute. The second thing we need to do is to read the introduction paragraph and try to predict some of the ideas of the text. So make predictions what this text is going to be about. Next, we need to read the first paragraph as well as the concluding paragraph, and thus we will be able to guess what this text is about, and because the key ideas are outlined there. And our students shouldn't be struck by unfamiliar words, because they need to read the text in order to get the general idea of the text. They are reading the text, they are not reading specific words. And they should read the concluding paragraph, and that's it. So that's how it works. And it shouldn't take more than 1 minute. So just to get a general idea of what is this text is about. And now I'd like you to look at the text. Can you see it? Write your answers in your chat box. Can you see this text? Okay. So what technique do we use here? We have 4 small texts about social networking sites. So here teenagers share their attitude about the social networking sites. And our students need to read these 4 texts and find out whether teenagers have positive or negative attitude towards these social networking sites. What technique should they use here in order to be able to find out this information? Please write your answers in the chat box below. They need to get general idea. Yes, they should use skimming. Yes, so they should read this text very quickly and come up with their answers, whether teenagers have positive or negative attitude towards social networking sites, or even both. So there could be negative and positive attitude. Okay, thank you. And what is scanning? Please write your answers in your chat box below. What is scanning? Yes, so we read for specific information in order to get specific information, right? So scanning is quick reading to find specific piece of information in the text. Good. And what can we scan in our daily life? Please write your answers in your chat box below. What can we scan in our daily life? Prices in a catalog, yes. What can we scan? To find some specific information. Sales, bills, timetable, right? News, it could be. Email, yes. Articles, yes, we scan articles. Okay, so we can scan words in a dictionary when we need to look up a word in a dictionary to find the definition of this word. We usually use scanning. Also, we can look up for details in prices, for prices in a catalog. Also, we use scanning to find an address in an address book or a telephone number. We use scanning to choose the website on Google search, and also we use scanning to look up a recipe in a cookbook when you need to find out about the ingredients and step-by-step preparation of the specific dish. So we usually use scanning. Okay, good, recipes. And again, some scanning tips. So first of all, we need to skim the text to find the answer in the text. So here we should find the specific information in the text. Then we need to look through the questions and find the information in the text. So we may underline the information in the text, and also you may use a bookmark or a finger or a highlighter to highlight the information in the text, and this will help you to find information in the text quickly and then answer the questions quickly. So ask your students to use highlighters or pencils or whatever to underline the information in the text, and this should become a habit. So they need to do it automatically at their real exam session. Okay. And here we have, again, 4 texts about social networking sites, and we have the second task is to answer the questions. What technique should we use here? Please write your answers in the chat box below. They have questions and they need to answer these questions. Scanning, right. They look for specific information, right. And here we have another kind of text. Our students need to read this text and find the appropriate title for this text. Again, what technique should they use here? Write your answers in the chat box. They need to find the best title for the text. Right, you are skimming. So they need to skim the text very quickly and find the best title for the article. Good. And their second task is to answer 5 questions. So they're going to do multiple choice task. And what technique should they use here? Write your answers in the chat box. Scanning. Yes, they look for specific information here. Thank you. And I'm going to share with you some ideas how to teach our students to do multiple choice tasks. So first of all, before they start doing reading task, any reading task, they need to read the task. After that, they need to read the questions and underline the keywords. They shouldn't read the answers straight away. So they read just questions and underline keywords in order to be able to memorize these questions. Then they read the text and answer the questions. After that, they need to find the answer in the text. So they need to find the answer in the text and underline this answer in the text. And then they should read 4 options and find the best, the correct answer to this question. The most appropriate answer to this question. And they have 4 options. 2 options are incorrect. And they can cross out wrong options. So this will help them to do this task even quicker. They will have 2 extra options. And then they need to read the passage again and find the answer in the text, and thus they will be able to choose the correct answer. And after doing all this, they need to read the passage and check their answers. Again, I want to share with you some reading strategies for ZNO exam. And I hope this will be useful for our students to use at their exam preparation. First of all, let's have a quick look at the structure. We have inferring. Inferring brings us to visualization, and visualization brings us to synthesizing. Now let's have a quick look at what are they and how to use all these strategies. So the first one is inferring. And what is inferring? Inferring is some kind of prediction. For example, if it has been snowing, and some cars are with snow and some cars are without snow. We can infer that those cars without snow have been parked in the garage. The same thing works with the text. So our students should read the first paragraph of the text and make their own predictions. They can make their predictions, and it doesn't matter whether they are right or wrong. These are their predictions. They can predict what might be the text about and what might be the outcome of the text, of the story itself. So here our students need to predict what this story is going to be about, whether British explorer Ed Stafford will be successful or not in his attempt to cross the Amazon. After that, we may ask them to read the main body of the text, these 3 paragraphs. They read this text in order to find out about the details, and they need to visualize what they are reading, and this will help them to keep the story in their minds. And when we read a book, for example, in Russian or Ukrainian, we usually visualize what we are reading. So the same thing we should teach our students to do at their lessons. So they need to visualize what they are reading, or try to visualize what they are reading. And after that, synthesizing. So what is synthesizing? So our students need to read the last paragraph where they can find the outcome of the story, whether the author of the text was successful or not in his attempt to cross the Amazon. And before they read this paragraph, this concluding paragraph, while reading the whole story, they have already made their own predictions. They have their own opinion about the story, yes? And when they read the concluding paragraph, they find out whether they were right or wrong at their prediction when they were predicting. And this, so it's very important to read the first and the last paragraph, because the key ideas are outlined there, and they will be able to answer the questions very quickly, because they understand the main idea of the text. And here I have already done this text. So I have given the answers to the questions. We have 5 questions. It's multiple choice task. And I underlined the answers in the text. So the same thing our students need to do when they are preparing for ZNO exam. And they, again, I want to say that it's very important for them to underline the right answer in the text. So they need to find the answer in the text. before they start answering the questions. And after they have completed multiple choice task, we may ask them to do after reading exercises. So we may ask them to fill in this table with the words from the text in order to enlarge their vocabulary. So they need to fill the table with geographical features, animals, names of animals, barks, land features, and thus they will be able to memorize words better. Okay. And what mistakes our students usually make at reading tasks during the ZNO session? So our students tend to find options which sound logical but are not mentioned in the text. So again, they need to reread the passage very carefully and find the answer in the text. Our students also make mistakes when the answer includes a word or phrase from the text but do not mean the same thing. So again, they need to read the text carefully and find the answer in the text, and they need to focus their attention on the meaning, what they are reading, what's the general idea of the passage. So they are reading to get the idea of the text, not the meaning of the specific words. Our students usually tend to make mistakes at overgeneralized words. So when the sentence contains these words like also, all, every, they usually make the wrong option, unfortunately. And I'd like to go back to our task. So there was a question about a tropical skin disease. So what was the cause of the tropical skin disease? And the author says that a fly buried in his hat, and he also suffered a tropical skin disease. He also suffered. We don't know the reason, the cause for this tropical skin disease. So why? What was the cause of his disease? So, and the right answer here will be, it's not clearly mentioned in the text, but students tend to think that a fly was the cause to this disease. So, but unfortunately that's the wrong answer and they lose their points. So they should read very carefully and don't be struck by overgeneralized words. And the last thing is that our students are perplexed by questions about author's main point. So what's the author's main point? They have difficulty in defining the main idea of the passage. Again, we need to teach them to read the last paragraph, the concluding paragraph, and find the answer in the text. Such verbs as think, believe, suggest will help them to find the answer. So these verbs shows that the attitude of the author, his opinion on this or that. So also draw your students' attention to these verbs, and they will help them to find the right answer. Okay. And again, our students need to do the last task, gap filling task. Here we have a text, and it's gapped text, and they need to fill in the gaps with the sentences. Can you see this text well? Write your answers in your chat box. Okay, so first of all, our students need to read the text and find out what this text is going to be about. So here they need to use skimming. So they skim the text very quickly and find out what this text is going to be about. After that, they need to read the passage up to the gap and after the gap, and they need to read the options given below. After that, they need to cross the options which are clearly incorrect. After they have filled all these gaps, they need to reread the text in order to make sure that this text sounds logical. Okay, and now let's have a quick look at gap filling task. So first of all, before they start doing this task, they need to read the task. After that, they need to read the text to get the general idea and read the sentences quickly. The third thing they need to do is to read the text up to the gap and after the gap, and choose the most appropriate sentence to fill in this text. They need to cross out 2 extra options that are incorrect and read the text again and check the answers, and they need to do it very quickly, and they can make some corrections after the second reading. All these texts were taken from our book Full Blast. You can see our course components on the slide. So these books are recommended for ZNO preparation. And for further practice, you may use practice test for FC and use of English for all exams if you feel that your students need to practice grammar and vocabulary more. And I'd like to remind you that we have our partnership program for Ukraine called Smart School, where we provide our best services to our partners. And one of the benefits is that we provide a branded plaque for all our schools, which indicate that this school takes part in this partnership program. We also provide double free components to our schools for their usage in class and for their school library. We also offer free classroom posters to use in class. And if you need to organize, if you want to organize speaking clubs, grammar clubs, or summer language camps, we will be happy to help you with all of this. We also organize contests and activities for Ukraine, and you can see our winners on the slide. We organize seminars and webinars on a regular basis for our Smart School partners. Professional development should also be fun and entertaining as well. So every year we organize a lottery among our Smart School partners, and 5 winners will go with us abroad for their professional development course. And every year we change the location of the professional development course. So how it all works? You need to visit our website, mapapplications.com.ua, where you can find the application form. You need to fill in this application form and send it to our email address. After that, we send you our terms and conditions, and if everything works well, we sign papers and start working together. And also we have created a pilot project participation. Before launching new books into Ukrainian market, we ask our teachers to try them in their class and write a feedback form for us whether it's good or not to use in the classroom. And after that we launch these books into Ukrainian market. Please visit our website mapapplications.com.ua, where you can find useful information about our webinars and seminars, our contests. You can find up-to-date catalog and current project participation. Here you can see my contact details. So please contact me and ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer all of them. And if you have questions, please write your answers in the chat box below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for taking part in our webinar. I was happy to hear from you. Have a fruitful week and a magnificent evening. write your answers in the chat box, and I will be able to answer all of them.